Order, please rise for a moment of silence, prayer, and the pledge of allegiance. Oh God, thank you for the gift of this new day, and thank you for the blessings of this life. Family, friends, work, and purpose. Guide us as we discuss, plan, and dream together. Help us to make wise and just decisions. Amen.
Amen.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
These proceedings are being recorded for the sole purpose of constituting the accuracy of written minutes. Tapes are reused, eliminating recorded records of these proceedings. Approval of the minutes of the previous meeting held on October 22nd, 2020.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Marner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes, are there any guests concerning county business at this time? Hearing none, we'll move on.
Report of executive session held.
There was one executive session held on Thursday, October 29th at 9 a.m. for personnel reasons.
Department reports. The budget transfers.
Move to approve. Second.
Mr. Marner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Expenditures, approval of payroll check numbers 72871 through 72912, and direct deposit check numbers 6024349 through 6024774 for the payroll paid through the payroll fund checking account for all county funds totaling $613,812.02. This is the payroll dated October 23rd, 2020.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Marner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Approval of check numbers 216488 through 216496 for expenditures to the general fund clearing account, the general fund COVID-19 grants totaling $105,089.79.
Move to approve. Second.
Mr. Marner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Approval of check numbers 216497 through 216617 for expenditures to the general fund clearing account totaling $420,271.71.
Move to approve. Second.
Mr. Marner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
The treasurer's report?
Move to approve. Second.
Mr. Marner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
The personnel report?
Move to approve. So moved.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
There was no correspondence received. Adult probation for approval and execution. Modification request to the Pennsylvania Commission on Crime and Delinquency for additional funds in the amount of $30,767 for coronavirus emergency supplemental funding for the term of March 16, 2020 through January 31st, 2022. The modification will be used to purchase additional personal protective equipment for agencies and to purchase handheld scanners for adult probation. The awarding was approved on August 27, 2020 in the amount of $66,487. Agenda item number 24-04.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
We have Rick Parsons with the Adult Probation Office today. Rick, do you want to explain this court action?
Yes. Real briefly, as you're all aware, we originally put in a grant request and were approved from Pennsylvania Commission on Crime and Delinquency to purchase equipment, personal protective equipment for law enforcement. PCCD announced that there was an additional $30,000 and some change there additionally that was available. So I'm seeking approval to seek additional funds. The additional funds will be used to purchase cloth masks for law enforcement agencies and departments across the county, misting machines, additional PPE, and also scanners, handheld scanners for some of my officers, so we can continue to work remotely and also continue to work on my project going paperless with the department. So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, Rick.
Next item, advertising. For approval, authorize the necessary advertisements relative to the 2021 Carbon County budget.
Move to approve. Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Coroner for approval and execution, agreement between the County of Carbon and the Forensic Pathology Associates of Allentown, Pennsylvania, to provide services for the coroner's office for the term of January 1, 2021 through December 31st, 2021 at the fees as listed.
Move to approve and execute. Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Correctional facility for approval and execution. Communication received from the warden for an agreement with Johnson Controls of Allentown, Pennsylvania to provide annual service to the fire pump system and control panel located at the pump house of the correctional facility for a total cost of $2,503 annually.
Move to approve and execute. Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
COVID-19 County Relief Block Grant for approval and execution. Awarding of payments for the first round of the County Relief Block Grant as per the attached listing.
Move to approve and execute. Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
District Court for approval, utilization of constables for coverage in all 4 district court offices to December 30th, 2020 at the rate of $13 per hour for the constable fee bill and request of the court.
Move to approve. Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Planning and Development for approval and execution. Change order number 3, extending the completion date to the contract with Stony Lonesome Excavating of Summitville, Pennsylvania for Parks, Recreational Facilities, Interfield Rehabilitation Project and Building, Summitville Borough, fiscal year 2016 and 2017, due to the back order of materials. The new contract deadline will be December 31st, 2020.
Move to approve and execute. Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Solicitors report.
Thank you. Correctional Facility for approval and execution, an agreement with Carbon Monroe Pike Drug and Alcohol Commission to provide drug and alcohol treatment counseling services for the inmate population at the Carbon County Correctional Facility for the term January 1, 2021 through December 31, 2021 at a cost of $54,000, which is paid through commissary funds.
Move to approve and execute. Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Correctional Facility for approval and execution. Request received from the ward to accept a proposal from NukeTech US Incorporated of Burlington, Massachusetts for the NukeTech body scanner inspection system. The costs include shipping, installation, training, and the warden advises it's actually a 5-year warranty. So the total cost is $118,000. It's paid through commissary funds, and the contract is through CoStar's number 12-189.
Move to approve and execute it as amended. Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
4476 Susquehanna Street project for approval. Proposal from Gloss Moving and Storage Incorporated, DBA O'Brien's Moving and Storage of Allentown. The amount of $43,718 under state contract as indicated to move the following offices associated with 4476 Susquehanna Street for the offices listed and the amounts for each office.
Move to approve. Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Proclamation for adoption, a proclamation recognizing November as Epilepsy Awareness Month.
Move to approve. Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
So I'll go ahead and read the proclamation in recognition of Epilepsy Awareness Month, November 2020. Whereas epilepsy is a neurological condition sometimes referred to as a seizure disorder and is characterized by recurring seizures in 1 in 26 people And 1 in 26 people will develop epilepsy in their lifetime. And whereas more than 209,000 Pennsylvanians live with epilepsy or a seizure disorder. And whereas up to 50,000 Americans die each year from seizures and related causes, including sudden and unexplained death in epilepsy. And whereas the Epilepsy Foundation, Eastern Pennsylvania, leads the fight to stop seizures, find a cure, and overcome the challenges created by epilepsy. The foundation is dedicated to ensuring that all people with seizures and epilepsy are able to participate in all life's experiences. Prevention and control of epilepsy can be achieved through continued community education and awareness programs. And whereas state funding in Pennsylvania currently supports programs that provide technical assistance, training, and support to Pennsylvania school nurses, teachers, and students on seizure recognition and first aid. And whereas state funding also supports programs that provide patient education, public awareness, information and referral services for children and their families living with seizures in Pennsylvania. And whereas the Epilepsy Foundation, Eastern Pennsylvania, is celebrating 40 years of service and dedication to Pennsylvania communities. And whereas the Commonwealth has historically supported the creation and expansion of epilepsy support services and awareness programs through federal and state appropriations. Therefore, the Commissioners of Carbon County hereby recognize November 2020 as Epilepsy Awareness Month in the County of Carbon to promote epilepsy awareness and education throughout the county. So hereby adopted.
Ratification, a resolution honoring Alyssa Garofalo, President of the Delaware Lehigh National Heritage Corridor, for the 2020 Carbon County Friends of Scouting Distinguished Citizens Award.
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Whereas the Mincy Trail Council, Boy Scouts of America, sponsors an annual Friends of Scouting dinner program, acknowledges the work of individuals who have played prominent roles in the community, including helping to promote Boy Scouts and its various programs. And whereas highlighted of the annual awards program in the presentation of Distinguished Citizens Award, one of which in 2020 will be presented to Alyssa Garofalo, Executive Director, Delaware and Lehigh National Heritage Card. And whereas Alyssa Garofalo holds a certificate in Strategic Perspective in Nonprofit Management from Harvard Business School Executive Education Program and a Bachelor's of Science in Urban and Regional Planning from the Pennsylvania State University. Alyssa was named one of Lehigh Valley's 25 most influential women. Whereas Alyssa Garofalo is the current president of the Delaware and Lehigh National Heritage Corridor, Eastern Pennsylvania. She serves as a vice president from January of 2012. During the tenure, 132 miles of the 165-mile DNL trail that connected Wilkes-Barre to Bristol has been connected. And whereas the Get the Tail on the Trail Wellness Initiative was launched in partnership with St. Luke's University Health Network, the Tail of the Towpath education curriculum has been expanded to more than 70 elementary schools. 4,000 students have participated in related field trips, and the Lehigh Valley Greenway Conservation Landscape Program has become a model conservative landscape program in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Whereas Alyssa believes her greatest success are her two children, Maggie and Jay Marsden. Now, thereas this 22nd day of October 2020, the members of the Carbon County Board of Commissioners desires to acknowledge Alyssa Garofalo's selection as a 2020 Friends of Scouting by the Mincy Trail Council, Boy Scouts of America. Adopt this resolution as means of document the honor bestowed upon her. Offer to Alyssa their hardest congratulations, and order that a copy of this resolution be presented to Alyssa. Thank you very much, Alyssa.
Nothing further.
That was a little rocky.
Well, I did pretty good without my glasses.
Further business?
I have none.
Commissioners' reports, Mr. Honor.
The only thing that I have, I know everybody knows the election is coming up, and I just wanted to give a couple little numbers here. Currently, we got 11,235 mail-in ballots. As this time, I mean, that's what was sent out. 7,654 have sent back as of today. Now, they have gotten more in today. What did she say?
500
There was
today.
500 additional today.
Plus approximately, they didn't count approximately 50 in the drop box.
Yeah, so if people have their ballots, I would suggest bringing them here. I don't know if they're gonna get here in time for the mail, and there is actually an extension for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, but that could be up in air also. You know, right now there's a ruling that they can, but that could be taken away. And that's about, I mean, and the only other thing, like, we finished the first roundup of our grants, and it's approximately $53,000, and it was 5 municipalities and entities that received that $53,000 from the first round.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yeah, 2 items. Tomorrow is the last day for the application period for the second round of the COVID-19 Relief Carbon County Block Grant Program. So please, if you haven't applied and you have that desire to do so, I need to do that before close of business or 4:30 tomorrow. For the second round, currently, we have 71 applicants. 52 of them are first-time applicants, and they're seeking $4.8 million in grant. With recognition, there's only about 1.1 to 1.2 currently available. But that process is going, and it closes tomorrow. And just emphasize that please vote on Tuesday's general election. That's all I have.
The only other thing I need to add a little bit here on the elections process, we were notified again this week of the mail-in ballots. They have to be received by 8 p.m. on election day. However, they sent us a form and everything that we have to accept them up to 5 p.m. on Friday. We have to we are not allowed to open them at this time until they come out with a prescribed method or how we're supposed to handle it. But we have to track everyone that comes in after 8 p.m., the name of the elector, the address of the elector, the date of delivery via the postal service, legible postmark, whether it was or wasn't, postmark date, ballot type, absentee or mail-in, and recorded by. So all this has to be recorded and put in a secure area for future counting. So again, I want to reiterate that come election day, probably the only solid number we will have is what was scanned in from the polling places, from voting in at the polling places. The process will start, the canvassing. We don't know how long it'll take. We won't be releasing any of that information. Things will be checked, double checked. We want to take our time, and we want to do it right. So don't expect numbers immediately at 10, 11 o'clock at night. It's going to be a long process, I fear, and we'll update you as we can on Tuesday. Chris and I did talk a little bit about it this morning, and we'll go over everything again on Monday. Our process, our security with the election director, the commissioner, the sheriff's office, and go through the process, walk through it again with probably our personnel we're gonna have there. We're doing everything possible to make sure it is a secure election and a safe election. We're talked to the sheriff's office already about security because of the possibility of threats, etc. So we're doing everything we can at this time to ensure a safe and accurate count here in Carbon County, as most counties are. And that's all I have. Meeting adjourned. Okay, Kelly.
Good morning. some of the things I wanted to ask. Is there security at the polling places now, like constables or?
They're supposed to be covering, some of the municipalities have multiple places, so, not counties, I'm sorry, boroughs and townships have 2 or 3 voting places and possible to be there. The sheriff's department will be on standby as well if extra security is needed. They have separate teams already formed for that, so we're trying to keep up with that. I know the sheriff's office and our administrator has participated in a program with PEMA for an hour and a half or so. And security, I already watched 2 different webinars this week on election returns. One was on PCN and that, and I know Chris has been following, and Rocky as well. We're trying to keep up with and do whatever we can to ensure a good, safely election accurate. This is a big one. This is because of the COVID especially, it created a problem. And one good thing out of that is that we were able to consolidate some of the polling places into one building, so that makes it easier for security reasons as well.
Okay, you said that you probably shouldn't expect numbers election night.
I'd be highly surprised, well,
Well,
total count. Let's
Total
say.
count.
Total
Remember,
accurate
what
count.
Wayne expressed is that the numbers that are calculated right via the scanning of the regular ballots will be tabulated that evening. But that would be our expectation of the only one.
The absentee and the mail-in ballots
Yeah.
will not be presented until we have a complete, and then it won't be complete if those numbers are released, and we don't know yet. Because we can't count those that come in after 8 PM on Tuesday. We have to wait until 5 PM Friday. So we don't know how those numbers are gonna affect things.
Yeah. So Kelly, so we can start scanning the mail-in ballots that we have on election day starting at 7 AM. But we can't release those numbers until all mail-in ballots have been tabulated. And so as Commissioner Nutzien expressed, up until 5 PM Friday, we could be receiving mail-in or absentee ballots based upon the way the law currently stands.
So anything from 8 PM election night to 5 PM Friday
Friday.
cannot be counted until 5 PM Friday.
Yes.
Can't be released. We haven't got the actual canvas instructions for that. And Commissioner Nutzien expressed in the letter we received from Department of State, they're gonna provide us further guidance on
Correct.
when that canvassing can start. Is that releasable to the press? I think that's what
Is it?
That would be
Okay,
my next
then we'll
question.
give you a copy of that and cover for that.
Yeah.
And the information they're asking for.
yeah.
So that's another reason we strongly encourage that, you know, if it's coming to the last minute here, if you can at all possible, deliver that to the election office prior to then.
And on the scanning machine, there are 2 high-speed scanners.
One's a backup.
One's a backup.
Correct.
How many can they process a minute?
Oh my God, it's like,
Was it 400?
it's a lot. I
I'm
mean,
sorry, let's not, yeah.
no, the other one, no, the other one's slower, like,
A lot.
yeah, it's like a
A
lot. I can't say 500 in a blink of an
Yeah,
eye,
no,
but,
it was-
but I mean, 500, I don't know what they can put a stack in.
Yeah,
But it
Well,
only,
it's, the problem too is it's gonna be by precinct.
yeah,
right, that's
It's gonna
that.
be by precinct.
yeah, so one precinct could have 20 and another one could have 300. You know what I mean? So it's hard to say how long it's gonna take. I mean, you just can't shove them all in at one time.
If you do not mail it in or deliver it and decide to go to the polls, you must bring that in to the polls to get a provisional ballot and sign a form. You cannot double vote. Once your ballot is cast, I went through this yesterday, once it is cast, if you put that in the drop box or you mail it, that's it. We cannot go and get your ballot and you cannot change it. If you go to the polls, same thing. Once your ballot is cast, there's no going back. You cast your vote, and it's counted, or will be counted.
I think that's all I have, thank you.
Just to clarify, so if you did the mail-in ballot, but you didn't send it in yet, because there's like 3,000 left, you can't just go to the poll and vote, right? Don't you have to like, so you know that they're, is that what you said? They have
Yeah,
to fill
you
something
can't
out?
vote. The
They
only
have to
thing
fill,
you could,
there's a form they have to fill out.
Yeah, you'd
Whether
have-
their ballot.
you'd have,
Provisional.
yeah,
Provisional.
if,
Fill out a
if,
provisional.
if you didn't do it, you're better off just coming up here and putting it in the election in the slot. Because if you don't, you're gonna go to where you regularly vote, then you have to have all that paperwork and you have to have everything. You have to have the envelope, everything that's involved with that, and give it to them, and then you get a provisional, and then it's backlogging them there. The easiest way, if you decide on election day, just bring it up here and drop it off, and that's the end of it.
Yeah. If you got a mail-in ballot, yeah,
You know, it's
definitely,
just-
I agree, you have to,
Yeah.
or it should. Once you got that ballot, I suggest you use it. Instead of trying and going through the process and confusing things and tying up the
Yeah.
whole network, let's say, in the process for counting and everything else, because your name's not gonna be in the poll book,
No.
because you received that ballot, so these people, they're not gonna have you on record when you go to the polls. So you are definitely better off taking that to the election office.
And one other thing, where's the 2021 budget right now?
We're
You
still
guys are
having budget
advertising.
meetings, so we, over half the departments, I'd say.
There's a meeting scheduled tomorrow for 10 to 12 will be our third and potentially last discussion, public discussion on it.
And we'll start to look at the numbers, what the priorities are.
COVID playing a big factor in that, with making sure you have like masks and stuff like that.
Well, we haven't really talked about that end of it.
No, because we've been using, for
what we have.
PPE, we've been using CARES
Yeah.
funding for it, so, separate from the budget itself, right, in that
Yeah,
regard.
And when that runs out, you know, and we can't use it to stockpile.
Yeah.
We can't go out and buy 10,000 for what happens next year.
Okay.
Hopefully, with this supposedly next round of funding, you know, or CARES funding, hopefully they loosen up some of those or requirements and policies because of things of that nature. I mean, to me, it's, you're preparing for the future, and if you wait till the last minute, you know, look what happened when this started. There was nothing to go around, basically. The hospitals are scrambling, people were making their own masks and everything, so hopefully that is one of the changes that'll come out of the new grant process, as well as some of the restrictions are awful hard to meet, you know, the requirements of the volunteers is one of my, I know all of us concerned. Just because you're titled a 501c4, you don't get funding, and you do the same thing as all the other fire departments as a 501c3. It's just how you're registered, without anybody realizing, should something happen, that this would be a regulation that they don't qualify. And it's not fair to those volunteers, especially that don't qualify because they're off 04.
We were on a conference call with the governor's Northeast office representative yesterday,
Yeah.
and we recognize there's a significant amount of CARES money that has yet to be apportioned that the state has. So our hope is, again, that they will apportion that or allocate it, and that will provide us additional funding to meet some of those future needs that we could foresee in regards to the pandemic.
That's all I got.
Guys,
Will you have any update for the press on as regards to elections before the election, like Monday or early in the week?
Well, if we get any more, if we get any more information, we'll pass it on to,
yeah.
I would
you know, we
appreciate
don't,
that.
because I think, isn't there like a call tomorrow or something? I think?
There's several.
Yeah,
There's
Department
one,
of
there's
State,
one
we just
tomorrow
got,
with different information.
Yeah, from the Department of
Things
State.
change constantly. I hate to tell you
Yeah.
one thing, and then we get another webinar possibly Monday afternoon or evening even,
Yeah.
you know, the way things are coming from the state, you know, it wouldn't surprise me at all. You know, look at the form we have here on the accepting the ballots, we don't even have the process yet of how we're supposed to handle it. And we just got this yesterday.
This may be premature, but as far as releasing mailing election results after next Friday, would you be doing that over the weekend, or would you wait until the following
And I'm not
Monday?
sure what's gonna happen there.
Like I said, it may be premature,
Did you have a comment, Dane?
that's all. And if I could have any of the latest guidance, I would appreciate that.
Same thing.
Okay, same thing, okay.
Thank you.
All right, sure.
I'm not gonna confuse it anymore.
Well,
I am confused.
How do you think the election department feels? They change the rules every hour.
Yeah, I think there were, I don't know, I think there were 2 documents we got right from Lisa.
I am
That
amazed
they'll
myself.
need, there was like a
I figured she had never
pre-canvas
break down about 2 months
canvassing
ago.
direction, and then the one Wayne talked
So
about.
she's still very well.
early, right?
So whenever.
I don't have any
communications
paperwork.
she's-
Oh, you don't have,
I don't,
okay.
I have.
Okay, not on you. Yeah, and then the other one, remember that pre-canvas canvas one we got? Yeah, that was the other one that was on the state letterhead. That- I think we-
I have that.
Yeah.